So as the Aerobotics Client Success Manager, I get to spend a lot of time with South African farmers. Part of my role is training them on how to use this technology, and I get to see how they are actually using us on a day-to-day basis. I get to hear their stories of before they've used this technology and after they've used it, how this is actually helping them to progress as an agribusiness. We help farmers identify individual problem trees at an early stage, and then we give them the correct tools to go to those individual problem trees so that they can see what's causing those problems and get to the root of the problem. We use technology to help the farmers to increase the yields and save their cost. We can help you to get to those problems and identify what the root of that problem is. You then as a farmer can go in and apply the corrective measures early in the season. Input cost on the farm is getting more expensive. Fertilizer, pesticide, fuel, labor. So at the moment in South Africa, farmers really need to make sure that they can grow vertically, can actually grow what they've got on their 50 or 100 hectares and make sure they need to increase the yields and save costs. There's also a trend in the agricultural space, especially in South Africa, where the bigger farming groups start buying up your smaller farms. It's difficult these days for smaller farms to actually progress as a business. They've got a lot more challenges and they need to adapt, or they will be bought up by the bigger businesses with a bigger financial backing. Another big challenge that agribusinesses face these days is definitely climate change. A lot of the farmers, I've noticed coming in touch with the farmers and speaking to them, that fruit set, for instance, will happen a whole month earlier this year than it was last year, which is a massive change and a massive concern. Farmers need to kind of plan for what they're going to do next season and what do they have to make that plan. They use last season's data, whereas now that data is completely skewed because climate change is changing the way the earth works, and now it's just thrown off the whole trend. We've got international clients and local clients. In the US market and the European market is exactly the same challenges that we fight over here in South Africa. If we look at pests and disease in Florida, the citrus industry over there had a massive disease breakout called greening, and it destroyed a large part of the citrus crop in Florida, which at a stage was the biggest in the world. If we look at type of pest and disease in South Africa, it's still a massive struggle over here. 2 or 3 months ago, they've actually identified the shot-hole borer they found in the Northern Cape, and that's a massive threat. Also irrigation issues. Farmers in Portugal, there's a certain region in Portugal that 4 years ago built a massive dam. Before they had the dam, there was no agricultural space of innovation. After they've had the dam and now had loads of water, these guys can flourish. If we look at the Western Cape, what's happened 2 or 3, well, it's been coming for 2 or 3 years, but this last season, the massive drought. So we do have similar challenges in the international markets and the local markets. I do think in some instances there's different challenges that we do not face. For instance, in the US markets, in Australia and those places, labor is extremely expensive compared to what we have over in the local market. It's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. The way they are embracing technology is phenomenal. So yes, there's a lot of challenges that farmers are facing, but I think we are positioned in a unique way to help farmers embrace this technology to face these challenges head on.